welcome to another Looney Tunes review video. If you are new to the channel, make sure you subscribe to follow my journey to review all 1000 classic Looney Tunes shorts, and give this video a like as well. So this is a review for the Greyhounded Hare, and with me today is my fellow Greyhound, S.C. MacPeter. Say hi!
Well, hello there, everybody. I'm sure glad to be on this one.
This is for, as mentioned, the Greyhounded Hare, released on the 6th of August 1949. It's the 563rd in the series, and it's directed by Bob McKimson. You can currently find this on the Looney Tunes Golden Collection Volume 4 DVD set, and it's in HD on HBO Max. So here's the synopsis, and this is why S.C. MacPeter is glad to be here. So, Bugs is at a dog racing track where he's looking to bet on a dog. Okay, so far so good. But once the race starts, he falls in love with a mechanical rabbit. Okay, and the rest of the short is about him trying to save that rabbit. Again, okay. It's a weird one, but alright, we'll supposedly go with that.
Dreamboat's pursuing me. Come to my arms, Jeannie, my light brown hair. She's playing hard to get.
In terms of trivia, see, dog racing was actually a lot more common in the early 20th century in the US, as far as I'm aware, although it seems to be a lot less common. I believe some states have outlawed it, some haven't, and I think that might explain it.
Well, what are they waiting for?
Exactly. I mean, in Australia, sadly, it's actually very, very common, and I'm in the camp that says, yeah, it should actually be outlawed. I think it's unnecessarily cruel, but this is not Anthony's Ban the Greyhound Races talk channel, but but yes, that's my opinion on that.
Mm-hmm.
The original title, as per the animated breakdown sheet, was Racing Rabbit, which, you know, it's okay for a title. I still think Greyhounded Hare at least makes a little bit more sense. Now, when Bugs says the line,
"This looks like the beginning of a beautiful friendship,"
that's just a reference to the end of the movie Casablanca. And also, this is one of the very last few cartoons that Manny Gould would do for Warner's before leaving for Jerry Fairbanks Productions. If you go on my good friend Devin Baxter's Patreon, I have a link below, he actually does an animator's breakdown of this particular short, which is, even if you hate this one, and I didn't particularly like it, but even if you do, it's still interesting to see who did what. Let's start with the positives, because I really want to try and keep this as positive as humanly possible. For some shorts, it's next to impossible, like Going to Heaven on a Mule and that, but here, I still love the chubby Bugs. I love this design at this point in McKimson's directorial career. Do you at least love the chubby Bugs that we see here?
Yeah, I love the look and animation of McKimson in the 40s. It's incredibly grotesque for Warner standards, but it just is so funny to look at. I love it.
Yeah, exactly.
McKimson had a big style of just having high concentration on making things move and animate until his budgets got cut lower than Freeling and Jones. So I think that it really does pay off for him to just do these great pieces of animation when he can.
Exactly, because I find his later Bugs Bunny shorts, I find Bugs Bunny to be a little bit more on the stiff and plain side compared to the more appealing design here. But that's, again, that's my opinion, and some people I know actually don't even like this design, but whatever, to each their own. Of course, I love whenever Bugs does his own pronunciations of certain words, and in this particular one, he says, programmy.
A programmy.
You know, the beginning, up until the race, I actually thought was pretty good. He's basically upset at all the noise, you know, seeing what's going on, and he's like, oh, okay, it's a dog race thing, and he's kind of naive about the whole thing, but whatever. When he's respecting the dogs, I thought that was pretty good. But of course, the best part would have to be the wordplay. I mean, if you look at the names of the board, and of course when the commentator announces all of the dogs, you know, you got pneumatic tire and all that, and you do all this wordplay. I mean, that for me is one of the best parts of this short. But once that happens, yeah, the short just falls completely apart for me.
We've run out of good things to say.
Exactly. Alright, there was two more things later. I like that to the dog pound taxi gag. I thought that was a good one.
And they're gone. Hey, Dreamboat, how about you and me making beautiful music together?
I like that delivery, but what would you say is the problem here in this cartoon?
It's not a Bugs Bunny story. And I think the issue is a few things. One, it's too talky. I don't mind excessive dialogue. It just doesn't work here. It isn't a dialogue-driven story, it's an action-driven one, and there's too much dialogue. But the other issue is just that this isn't a story for Bugs Bunny. Bugs Bunny doesn't chase girls, and if he did, he chases girls that are real. He doesn't chase after a mechanical rabbit, and he would know better. This story should be focusing more on the fact that he's trying to defend, or just trying to prove a point that these dogs are brutes.
I just think that they made Bugs too dumb and too naive in this one. He's looking at this mechanical bunny and thinks it's a real, woman that needs to be, saved. But no, it's very out of character for Bugs. And yes, Bugs' character varies between the different units, and of course it varied even more when the character first came out earlier in the decade. But in this case, by this point, they've already established who and what Bugs is, and this one is just a real big misfire. Thankfully, even in these bits towards the end, the animation is still very solid. I love the animation at the very least, and there's a lot of good stuff in here.
I just wish they didn't do this with Bugs. It would work better with a Daffy Duck characterization, but Bugs isn't Daffy. And it's a rabbit story too, so you couldn't substitute Bugs for Daffy. It kind of just falls apart for just being a Warner's cartoon.
But as with anything, I do recommend people to at least, watch it and make up their own minds. I'm always a firm believer in that. And so this one doesn't get too negative, otherwise we'll probably end up yelling at this cartoon at the end, going, please be more funny. My rating for this one is 6.5 out of 10, and that rating is mainly to do with the wonderful animation and a lot of Mel Blanc's delivery, and of course those dad joke type puns that you hear around the beginning.
Now they're on edge for this race. Bill's bunion looks a little sore. Pneumatic tires rounding into shape. Father's mustache looks a little droopy. Motorman's glove will have a hand in it. Bride's biscuit is hard as a rock. Grandpa's folly is out of it. He's being scratched.
But other than that, yeah, this one's a real dud. I mean, how would you rate this one?
5. Good production values don't hold all to merit, especially when it's something like this. When it's in like a key time at Warner's when they are great and great, and then you just see these flops and they stand out because there's so many good shorts.
Exactly right. But is this the worst thing I've ever seen? No, not by a long shot. Again, you have to go back to watch Buddy Shorts, which reminds me, I gotta redo those commentaries. Fun,
or later on.
Yes, later on with the Paddy Freeling or, later McKimson efforts. So, not the worst thing, but definitely a misfire. So, that'll do it for this one. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, take care.
And that's the end, folks.
Baby! This looks like the beginning of a beautiful friendship.